I suppose let's start off with a look at Mozambique's banking sector and where Moza Banco fits into that, because you're the 7th largest bank and it's highly concentrated when you look at the percentage that the larger 4 banks hold. It's around 75 to 80%. So what percentage of the market does Moza Banco have right now?
Well, good afternoon. In terms of deposits and credits, we're sitting on around 3% of the total concentration in the markets, and like you mentioned, it's extremely competitive. The industry is growing extremely, but Moza Banco, we believe we're positioning ourselves to also benefit from the growth, and also because of the large concentration in the 4 largest banks, we believe we are able to also grow, taking a piece of the pie from them.
Of course, Mr. Merali, you have to be given a break because in terms of the banking sector, you're a very new bank to the sector. You only opened doors in June 2008, so only 4 years old as it stands right now. Tell us about your growth plans, because you started out as a bank focused on the corporate sector. Now you've shifted focus to the retail sector. You recently embarked on that capital raising exercise. You raised around $40 million. So how are you going to put this money to work now?
Like you mentioned, we initiated operations 4 years ago, predominantly on the corporate side, and the corporate and business banking is still our main focus. Naturally, with the growth of the country, we needed to create a structure where we could also benefit from the growth in the middle and the northern parts of the region. So we have initiated an ambitious expansion plan where we will open 13 branches by the end of this year, and another additional 15 branches next year. So definitely we are repositioning ourselves from initially a corporate bank, and due to the shareholder structure, where at the beginning of last year, Banco Espírito Santo, which is the largest bank in Portugal, came into our shareholder structure, we've been able to initiate this new expansion plan.
Talk to us about the opportunity for growth in the retail space, because only 10% of the population is unbanked, but there's a big problem when it comes to financial literacy, understanding how the banking sector works and being able to understand how banking product works. So how are you going to fill that gap and address that issue?
Well, retail banking has just grown in the last 3 to 5 years, so definitely there is a huge opportunity for growth in this area. For Moza Banco speaking, definitely we started in the corporate area, and now we are also going into the retail sector. But 90% of the population is unbanked. Also, we have a problem in terms of literacy, which you mentioned. Moza Banco has created a social responsibility program where we will create the ability for the people to be able to understand how banking is, how banking can benefit the economy, and this is being done by also other banks, not just by Moza Banco, because the financial sector also has to work hand in hand.
Yeah. Talk to us about the competitive space right now, because there are 23 banks operating in Mozambique, and as you said, it's very competitive. Everyone wants to have a piece of the pie, and it is a growing pie when it comes to a growing economy. But how's this impacting margins in the banking space right now? Specifically, I suppose when you move into the retail space, where you are going to have a slightly different model there, specifically when it comes to the type of risk you need to adjust for that.
Definitely. Banking in Mozambique is traditional, as is in the rest of Africa and not in the modern world. We still depend highly on deposits, and the deposit credit ratio has grown significantly, which is still healthy at a 90% ratio, where you consider other European banks deleveraging at the moment. But 3 years ago, the deposit credit ratio was 70%. So banks have a traditional business model, and we believe that that stage will come where we're going to have to be innovative and change our business models to create additional space for the retail banking opportunities.
Ms. Merali, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to touch base with you, and of course we will be getting an update from you as you grow into that retail space in Mozambique. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Inaete Merali, the CEO of Moza Banco.